All right, well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It says Meatloaf.
Isn't Meatloaf dead?
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know.
I didn't think so.
Well, I mean, it's definitely dead because I ate it last week. But
That's what I had for lunch today, too. Meatloaf singer. No, still alive.
How old is he?
73.
Wow, dude.
September 27th, 1947.
Dude, he's getting there.
Right? He looks like it, too.
Yeah,
Poor bastard.
he will die eventually, but I won't, though.
I know.
No, I won't. You will, though.
I will, yes.
Not me.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. Let's wing it.
Wing it? I like doing that. And welcome to another episode of 57% True. My name is Jason, your host. And for those of you who are fans of the previous podcast, you will be very familiar with my guest. For those of you who are not familiar with the old podcast, get ready for a wild ride. The little E on this episode that's for explicit is not even enough. So I'm telling you right now, if you have grandma in the car, the kids are around, or you're easily offended, you might as well just shut it off now. My give a fuck is broken. I've had a horrible week at work, and I can't think of any better way to start my weekend than with this sassy bitch. So, without any further ado, I will introduce you to my friend Cody. Say hi to everybody, Cody.
Why am I a sassy bitch?
Why? We have to go back, like, to genetic level.
I think. Dang.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, well, here we are.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Cody. I'm a sassy bitch, apparently. I mean, that's the best way to describe it now. I had this whole thing lined up, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm the sassy one.
So anyway, you, since this is a new podcast and everything, do you want to go ahead and describe yourself?
I am a meat popsicle.
It's true.
Thank
you. Fifth Element reference. I'm so proud of you.
No. I am 30 years old now. Born in the 90s, the very, very, very tail end of 90 actually. I enjoy playing a lot of video games. I'm a hardcore libertarian. You will learn that. You will come to learn that.
Get ready, because that's all this episode's going to be. Go ahead.
I was born and raised in Detroit, and the ghetto of Detroit, Southwest Side represent. I've experienced and been a part of more things than I care to talk about, but we'll probably end up talking about
That's
them.
what we do on this show. Yes.
Yeah, that's about it, really. I mean, I work with this guy.
Yeah. That's about as exciting as it gets.
Yeah, I mean,
that's horrible.
I mean, if you guys care, I'm a sponsored world levels card player, and I play cards across the world. That's it.
Now, by cards, we're not talking about Pinochle.
No, we're not talking about Pinochle.
You don't want to talk about which cards you play?
No, I mean, it's not really. I play not poker card games.
Fair enough.
I think that's the best way to describe it without just saying what it is. I'm trying to not get you hit with any sort of copyrights.
Oh. So we can't talk about Schmokey-Mon,
we can probably talk about Schmokey-Mon, but I don't play Schmokey-Mon.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I'd get hit with copyright.
I don't think you would either. I don't think you would, but just to be safe.
Fair enough. All right. Well, anyway, that's the type of cards. But better than Schmokey-Mon.
But not Schmokey-Mon. I swear it's not actually Schmokey-Mon or anything that rhymes with Schmokey-Mon.
Wait, there's something that rhymes with Schmokey-Mon?
You're not getting me. You can try, but it's not going to get me.
All right, so on the previous podcast, Cody and I talked quite heavily about political things, and we're probably going to end up doing the same thing because that's just what we like to talk about. So knowing that, you're going to hear things that you're not going to agree with. And it doesn't matter what side you're on, because you're going to hear things that you don't agree with. There'll be things that Cody and I don't agree with, and we will still show you how we can beat each other up mentally and emotionally, but still be friends at the end of the day.
I hate literally everything. Jason will tell you that.
Oh, absolutely.
I hate everything.
And you will learn that in the next 50-some minutes, believe me. So to start off, we're day 37-ish, we're just outside of the first month of a new regime What are you doing to me?
I don't know why that's going off. Don't worry, I can take care of that.
I wasn't going to edit a thing in this episode, and already in the first 5 minutes,
you probably don't have to edit anything. There we go. Boom, it's off. See?
All right, cool. It's all right. Okay. I think mine's off too. I should probably check that after I just gave you all that shit.
Those were probably really important messages regarding political things.
Well, then look at it.
No, I don't want to look at them.
All right then. So, is that what you want to start off with, or do you want to get onto something more detailed?
I mean, we can start with that. That's perfectly fine with me.
Fair enough. So, President Joe Biden is in office, and just in the first month, many much boosting, what are they called?
He has made big error.
Yeah, there's been a couple. Executive orders have been signed like autographs at
many.
Yes. Already broken the record, and I could swear that we're in the 50s. I'm going to look it up right now, but go ahead and start talking.
Well, I mean, like, wasn't one of the biggest things for their platform talking about getting the DACA kids out of cages?
Correct.
I mean, that was a pretty substantial.
Well, the good news is they're not in cages anymore. They are now in, what is it, recreational
facilities. So, if you don't know, they're basically imprisoned.
Yeah, but because they're not called cages anymore, it's okay.
Would like to point out that those were also there prior to the Trump administration.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of liberals like to talk about how
Trump put all
these kids in cages, and that wasn't started by him.
No, I mean I don't like Trump, but I'm not going to say the man did stuff he didn't do. So.
Well, that's the deal. So that's something else that we will talk about. Being a libertarian does not mean that you're conservative.
No.
So just know that we're going to hit on Trump, and we're going to hit on...
Well, I'm going to hit on Trump.
You are.
Jason likes Trump.
I do not like Trump.
Jason loves Trump.
Shut up. Just because you bought me a Trump hat so I get shot and going outside wearing it. Jackass.
Have you wore it?
No.
Coward.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, you've got the kids in cages, and what's her name, Let It Go singer, was like, oh yeah, there's no more kids in cages, and my child was so happy, and we hugged and cried. Like, shut up. They're still in cages. You're just trying to make it sound like something it's not. Just like illegal alien.
Oh.
Yep.
Like, define alien.
Well, I'm not talking about what the Mars rover is going to find in the next couple days. I'm talking about...
True story. Every year, the Mars rover will beep happy birthday to itself.
I know, it's sad.
It's actually... I mean, it's kind of adorable.
It's adorable, but he's just up there on his own little planet.
Well, there's like more than one rover up there now, isn't there?
Yeah. Perseverance, isn't that the newest one that came out?
Maybe they'll meet up and they'll just beep at each other.
Oh, have little baby rovers.
No. No, let's not do that. But I mean, they just drive by and like beep high five at each other and just keep going. I mean, oh man, this whole fiasco with like the Biden administration is driving me kind of nuts, and it really feels like the far left, the crazy left, as I like to call them, the old Nancy Pantsy, as I like to call them.
So there's a difference between liberals and leftists. That's another distinction that we need to talk about. Just like there's a distinct difference between conservatives and alt-right or far-right. So, yes, go ahead with your statement.
So, like, they feel super emboldened right now. Like, horrifically emboldened. I mean, did you see what was happening in Oregon after Biden got elected? The riots continued.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still going on. I haven't, like, kept up to date with it the last week or so, last couple weeks, but, riots kept going in Oregon for quite some time after the election.
Yeah.
And it's like, could you guys maybe just calm that down
just a hair? That's
just a hair.
And, I think that Democrats wanted to get in office because they were always talking about how, when they get into office, the riots will stop. And it's like, wait a minute,
No, they
why?
didn't.
First of all, why would you have the gumption to say that? Because that essentially means that you're okay with what's happening until you get in office. Then hey, just because you were trying to make Trump look bad, look, he can do that on his own damn self.
Like when Nancy Pelosi held the checks hostage for people who needed them until after the election.
Which is very much happening now because they're trying to throw back so much or push through so much pork that, $1,400 per citizen that makes under $50,000 a year, which luckily is the two of us. And yet we're going to be spending millions and billions sending it to other countries and everything else along with this. So again, regardless of party, I don't care what party we're talking about. Your government should not be taking care of or paying other countries money when we have our own shit to take care of over here. I don't care who it is. I'm not going to say, well, damn Democrats. If the Republicans were in there and Trump was still in there, this is happening. It'd be fucking Trump and Republicans. I don't care. Government needs to be small, which is very much a libertarian thing that we talk about.
I want no government.
I know, and that's damn near anarchist, but yeah, that's you tiptoe that line pretty closely.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Put it that way, it's fun.
That's one word. But anyway, so government needs to be small because the minute you start relying on the government can now take that away from you. You're basically going to be they'll hold you hostage, essentially, is what's happening. It's been done in the past. It's looking like we're heading down that same path right now, and it's terrifying to me. So, again, ugh.
Yeah, that's
it. Like I don't even like thinking about it because I just get terrified. I get terrified.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. I mean, didn't the price of insulin just skyrocket?
So there's something that's a hot debate. So President Trump did sign executive orders in order to attempt to bring down the price of insulin. Now, I had heard that yes, insulin was on its way down. I don't know that it came down to mere mortal prices. But I have seen posts on social media, which I hate, that was stating that, yes, it was starting to become more affordable, that EpiPens were becoming more affordable because, Big Pharma was being kind of taken out of the loop. Mr. Biden decided, I'm just going to nix that. Again, how is that helping your country? You're a country. You are running this country. You have 350 million people here, and you're hurting them. And you'll have people that are for that, for Biden signing that executive order to reverse that Trump thing by saying, well, it never actually really helped anyway, so what's the point? Here's the thing. There are families out there that said that it did help. And on top of that, if it didn't have time to help, why would you nix it? Why wouldn't you wait to see if it actually did? But no, it's all because Orange Man bad. And Biden had to get rid of as much of the Trump administration era stuff as he possibly could, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, it's an awkward situation to be sure. I mean, Biden was sitting there with that pen, like, time to sign some autographs, just going at it, man. He wasn't even reading anymore. They were just putting papers on his desk. He's like, "Yep."
I don't know how true this is, but supposedly there's a video out there where he asks someone, "What is this?" and they say, "Just sign it."
Oh, that would be fantastic. I need to see that.
I don't know if it was doctored.
Oh, man, if that's real.
Right. But there's a video out there where someone puts something in front of him. He says, "What is this one that I'm signing?" And they say, "Don't worry about it. Just sign it." Would I put it past him? No.
Do I now use legal experimentation on chickens to return them to the previous Tyrannosaurus Rex state?
Yes.
Oh, man, please. Please.
Instead of Jurassic Park, it'd be Jurassic Bark.
Jurassic Bark, yeah. Well, I mean, chickens are the most closely related fowl to Tyrannosaurus.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that would be the worst chain of evolution.
Yes.
Go from, like, literally king to bok.
Did you know that they actually did answer the question, what came first, chicken or the egg?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The egg. And the reason why is because there's a protein strand in the shell of the egg that cannot exist without the chicken.
Okay, so...
Oh, I lied. It was the chicken. I'm sorry.
I was like literally...
Shut up.
I was literally about to say, wait, if there's a protein strand that couldn't exist without the chicken...
Yeah.
How could the egg...
It was the chicken.
Jason, I gotta ask you something.
Yeah, I need you to.
Okay, so... if yes is spelled Y-E-S,
Yeah.
what does E-Y-E-S spell?
I don't like this question because it's tricking me.
What does it spell?
E-Y-E-S?
Mm-hmm.
Eyes.
Good job. You did it. I've had a lot of people say E-S.
Yes. Oh, my. So I was like, wait, this is too simple. What is it? It's like that whole joke. Are you smart? Yeah. Spell it. S-M-A-R-T. It's I-T.
Duh.
That's what I thought. I was like, all right. Listen, I can make an ass out of myself. I don't need your help. So, looked it up. It was actually, at this point in time, 32 executive orders have now been signed. It is a lot.
Last time I looked, it was at 26.
That's almost one a day, if you average it out.
That's a lot.
And again, when we talk about political hypocrisy, notice I said political. I'm not saying one way or the other. When we're talking about political hypocrisy, it was the Democrats, a lot of them were saying you can't rule by executive order because that's a dictatorship, that's a, blah, blah, blah. That's
tyrannical.
It's tyrannical, exactly. And then, bam, 32 executive orders later. There's been talk of people saying that that they need to continue doing this even more. And forgetting the Republicans in the Senate, they were about to push something through, and now the House.
I like how all this crap they need to push through, but you know what they don't have to push through? Bombing Syria.
That was swift action.
That was they didn't push anything through for that. Man, our American citizens sure could really use that money to make sure they don't starve to death or lose their house. Let's bomb Syria.
Let's bomb Syria. Now,
Syria down.
To give a bit of a heads up on that too. So allegedly Syria struck first. Allegedly in that strike, a contractor who was an American citizen and died, and a service person was wounded. Yep. So because of that, that was where they decided we're going to bomb Syria. It was a drone strike. And the excuse, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say excuse. The reason given by the White House was that if any harm were to come to any American citizen, they will retaliate. I can get behind that because, yeah, we don't want them to be like, bam, and then just be like, oh, well, there goes one. We still got 349,999,000.
Knock one off, dude. Gotta get another. Boop.
So I can understand that. However, the problem with it is that Syria is in the middle of a civil war right now.
Oh, yeah.
And more than likely, that was how that strike happened. I'm not saying that it wasn't intentional. I don't know if it was intentional or not. But considering there's a civil war over there, and with the track record of Syrians, it seems as if it was probably an accidental attack. Now, regardless, a man is dead. A contractor is dead.
Another man be wounded.
Another one be wounded. So I completely understand where we would come from and be like, hey, knock it off and do what we got to do. However, Syria's in a civil war. They're already keyed up. Right? They're already on pins and needles, and now all of a sudden you have a third contender entering the ring. And it's like, do you really think that's going to calm things down? What
really bothers me is it's like two angry brothers hitting each other with pillows and wiffle bats, right? And then here comes Dad, walks in with like a full suit of armor and a flail, and just starts bopping both of the kids, like, stop it, and that's what, kids. Yeah, that's what it feels like just happened. It's just like, well, man. It's like when Big Brother accidentally hits little brother too hard, and he's like, little brother tries to scream, and he's like trying to cover his mouth. Don't cry. So parents don't come in. And Dad heard it just a little bit, and he walks in there to check on him, and he's like, boy, what'd you do? Why that boy cry?
I told you no horseplay in the house.
You just hear that belt coming off, and it's like, oh, God. No, America, no!
So, so again, I'm a person that can see a lot of things from all angles, and I can tell you what I agree with and what I don't agree with. I can say that I don't agree that we should have, bombed the hell out of them, apparently, with drone strikes for something like that. Should it have been a retaliatory response? Sure. Do I think drone strikes during the middle of a civil war was the best idea? No. I think, in my opinion, it was him trying to flex nuts and be like, I'm the big boss man now. I can do what I want. I have all this artillery and everything else. I have the full United States military at my disposal. And dagnabbit, I'm going to use it. I could be very wrong. Maybe that's not it.
Drone strike, go Burr.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so frustrating. Yeah. I don't know. What do you got?
It's messed up, and he shouldn't have done it. That's kind of how I feel.
Fair enough.
Definitely should have found out what caused the attack first, and been 100% certain who he was retaliating against.
Correct.
Instead of just like, those bastards, and just push the button.
Think back, and you may not be able to, I don't know, but think back to 9/11. I know, I'm old. But think back to 9/11. Like, the day that it happened, Bush W gets up there and literally says to the American public, we're going to have ourselves a crusade. And everybody was like, fucking shit. No, stop, don't say that. Again,
just people gets up on stage, for the Emperor of Mankind, we shall have a second crusade. No, G-Dub, you can't say that. I already have.
And I'll say it again.
He starts putting on his Templar's chest chainmail, and he picks up his shield, puts on his helmet, and he's like, Deus Vult, brothers!
So, his people, his handlers had enough common sense to be like, oh, God, no, stop. We can't say that. We can't whatever. And we got to find out who the people are first. We got to do this and that. And it was slow because at that point...
it took 4 days?
It took a while to get some stuff going, but that was it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I do remember 9/11 because I remember being picked up and pulled out of school.
Yeah.
When that happened, I don't remember how. I know it wasn't too long after. But I do remember it was probably a couple weeks. But once they found out who was responsible, it was the day after.
And there we go. Right.
That it was on TV. I remember watching bomb. It was within a day. We already took everything.
Yes.
Because we took the air within an hour.
Yes. And that was it. We found out what happened, what was going on, and then we went to town. That, again, I'm not a fan of Bush. W. G-Dub. I don't like the guy, but... his administration had enough of a wrangle on him that they could talk him off the ledge, figure out what's going on and go from there. That's where I'm coming from when I say it felt like Biden just wanted to flex and go to town. Now, I could be wrong, but that's when you see someone that has to be, that is on that path and is talked down.
It seems like he'd been waiting a while to do that.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess you could say he was Biden his time.
I hate you. And of course, you have the conservatives that are like, "Oh, well, here's Trump being, getting nominated for Nobel Peace Prizes and blah blah blah." And then 36 days later, here he is bombing. Yeah, I know it looks bad, but you're not going to hear that it looks bad because the media's in their back pocket. It has been for years and years. And if you don't believe me, let's go back to 9/11 real quick. So, used to, the media was in the conservative hands.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, just do me a favor and go to your iTunes and pull up a little band you might have heard of called Green Day and check out an album called American Idiot. If you listen to that track of the same name, that's all it's about. It's about how the media was all about conservatives, this and that, and blah, 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 and talking about Bush and yakety schmackety but now you talk about it to liberals and everything about it, and they're just like, that's not happening. They're not. You just don't like what you hear. No, the tide has changed.
It'll happen again.
Sure, of course. Everything's a pendulum. Everything's circular.
It's just whatever the masses that's more easily manipulative.
There we go.
It's the word I was going to get there. whichever group is more easy to manipulate is the side that the media will hinge on. And unfortunately, a lot of the conservative group many years ago, pretty stupid.
Yes.
Pretty big stupid, actually.
Yes.
And I mean... they believe anything you told them. It was great. I mean, there are people who believe chemtrails, so I mean...
Oh, God. That's a whole episode right there.
Hey, Dad loves him some chemtrails, let me tell you.
Yeah?
My dad, not Jason, my actual dad. Really, like, sits down. I mean, this guy, he walked outside one day. I don't know if you remember this. This was like a big fad couple, like maybe 6 years ago. Walked outside, grabbed a handful of snow, just like fresh snow. Walked inside, took a butane lighter, and lit it up, and it burned black. He's like, snow doesn't burn black. They're putting I remember looking right at him. I was like, Dad, do you know what the black is? It's the butane from the lighter. And he's like, no, it'll burn black no matter what fire you use. I just literally took it and threw it in a pan on the stove, and it just melted. I'm like,
there you go.
It's just normal water.
It's okay.
It's nothing. Do you remember that when people were burning snow? Oh, why my snow burn black? And that. See, that's one thing I think is funny. Like, liberals have like their own conspiracies they follow to like an obscene degree, but I have to say, like, their conspiracies are at least somewhat well thought of. Conservatives, when they have a conspiracy, they just find the stupidest shit.
Of course,
they can. Like, why snow black?
5G is melting palm trees. Have you seen that one? Oh my goodness. Yeah, if you haven't seen that out there in podcast land, just Google 5G melting palm trees.
It's
palm trees. Shut up. It's
5 trees melting palm trees.
Look, I haven't had my alcohol for the day. Okay, I'm actually it's hard to talk sober. So yeah, when you're talking about dumb conservatives, yes, it was very much, which is why it helped perpetuate that whole stereotype of, dumb conservatives or dumb redneck kind of thing, and that's what a lot of liberals have latched onto.
Since we're on the topic of like conservatives, Rush Limbaugh.
Here we go.
Oh,
I was wondering if we get around to this.
Oh my, Rush Limbaugh. So I mean, low key. Okay, I might be a libertarian. Okay, but I don't. The man was a bad dude, okay? He did some bad stuff.
He did some bad stuff.
He did some real bad stuff. Like, he used to have a segment on his show where he'd play clown music while naming off gay people who died to AIDS.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Okay, yeah. Sucks dude died, okay? He died to cancer.
Yes.
Okay, that sucks, okay? Because cancer sucks.
It does.
And you shouldn't be happy if anybody dies to cancer.
That's a big thing I was going to hit on. Go ahead.
I don't care particularly that Rush Limbaugh is dead. I care that he died to cancer.
Yes.
So, I mean, like, that part sucks.
Yes.
Him being dead, I could give two shits about.
Sure.
Because he's kind of a shithead.
Right.
But that's where I stand on that.
Well, and here's the deal. It happens on, again, both sides, which irritates the shit out of me. There is no reason that anybody should be happy someone is dead.
Now, being happy is one thing.
Yes.
Not giving a shit's completely...
Correct. If you don't care that someone's dead, you don't care someone's dead. Here's the deal. If they're outside of your social circle, so to speak, it's not someone that you look up to or whatever, then there's absolutely no reason for you not to care.
I used to have to listen to Rush Limbaugh all the time when I was coming home from school.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Dad picked me up and just, Rush Limbaugh. And I'm like, oh my God, no, please.
Rush is right.
Please, Ugh. Dad, can we just stop and get a banana shake? I deal with this.
And that's what I'm getting at is when I see people, again, I don't care which political party you affiliate yourself with. When I see people say, good, glad they're dead, hope he dies, hope she, kicks it, I'm so glad I'd piss on her grave, whatever. I cannot stand it. There is no reason in the world that you should have that much hate in your heart.
I mean, I'd probably act like that if like it was Hitler dying.
So, to every rule, there are exceptions.
Hitler's definitely like the exception to that rule. Stalin too. Stalin, Hitler. I'd do that for either of them. Rush Limbaugh. Okay, so Rush Limbaugh was just like kind of a dweeb.
Yeah.
Like when you really think of it, he's just a fucking dweeb.
He was a nerd with a microphone like me.
I mean, no, you're not having like the LOL these gays died to AIDS hour.
No, that's not at all.
Like he did some bad stuff.
I know.
And I can understand. I can actually probably get behind even the gay crowd like being happy he's gone, because honestly he did a lot of horrible things to them.
Yes.
So if they're gonna act like that towards him, I'm completely okay with it. I mean, personally, me, I don't care he's dead. I mean, I'm not jumping up and down and celebrating it. It's just kind of one of those fleeting passing moments, like, oh, Rush Limbaugh died, move on.
I can understand a sense of relief. Does that make sense? Like, now you don't have this bigoted asshole talking, playing clown music or whatever. Now you're just like, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
It's not like, we must go and find his grave, brothers. Deus Vult.
To celebrate someone's death to me is very frustrating. It's very upsetting.
It shows a sign of no empathy.
Yes.
To me, like, not caring is one thing,
right.
Celebrating is completely
correct.
It's just like when I had a conversation a couple days ago with one of my friends about specifically like redlining and what it did to the minority community, and what type of outlook you should have in regards to combating racism, which is strongly more affected in the last 50 years minority groups than white people. White people have had obviously to deal with it. I mean, I had to deal with it. I grew up in Detroit. But, like, for example, we got into talking about what's the best way to combat racism. And they tried to say that we should uplift the minorities, right, and uplift them so that it's combated on their end. I'm like, well, why not just combat it equally for anybody whenever you see racism, period?
Yeah.
I'm like, because the best way to deal with racism is treat it like a disease.
For one, and Morgan Freeman actually said something really great about race and racism, which we're going to hit on here in just 60 seconds. So anyway, thank you for listening. So back to Morgan Freeman. He talks about how, you can't see race, you can't see color, you make yourself a victim at that point, essentially. Now, can you be proud of your heritage? You bet your ass you can. Can you be proud of your accomplishments in your community? You bet your ass you can. But when you start associating yourself only by your color, only by your race, this is where problems begin to happen. Well,
when I was having that conversation with my friend, and they were talking strictly about uplifting the minority groups.
Yes.
And I said, well, what does that solve? Like, first of all, how do you uplift them, firstly? And second of all, does that mean that if somebody's being racist towards somebody who isn't in one of those impoverished or minority groups, do you care less? Because you should be caring equally about when somebody is being dealt through a racist means. So, like, if somebody's being racist towards a white person, I would treat them the same as if they were being racist towards a black person. It's not right. Racism is racism. It's evil. Like, so just don't do it. And they tried to explain to me that, they tried to tell me specifically that anything that was racist that I experienced personally was just moments and things that occurred. And I was like, well, do black people just wake up experiencing racism? Like,
right.
Like, I'm pretty sure the majority of people who tell you about a racist thing that occurred to them or something that was racist, it's an instance of racism occurring or a thing that was. It's never just like waking up, my racism's tingling. Like, that just doesn't happen, okay? That's not how that works.
Well, it's a victim mentality.
It is a victim mentality.
And again, regardless of what you are, what race you are, what background you are, it's a victim mentality. Why would you let yourself feel that way? Why wouldn't you try to go out within your community or do anything about, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand why anybody would want to feel like a victim, because now you feel powerless. Wouldn't you want to feel powerful?
Well, yeah. I mean, imagine having like a big old spooky ether, like spooky evil villain ether thing coming off. Like, oh, this evil, vile racism is holding me back and preventing me from moving forward with my life, and therefore I'm going to combat it. Okay, well, what are you combating? What are you combating? Like, what is racist that you're combating? If you see, like, if I see somebody being racist towards anybody, it's a problem with me. I like immediate problem, because boy, growing up in Detroit, you learn real quick that color don't mean nothing.
Yeah,
real quick.
Right.
And it's like, I have some super good friends, and I mean, like, basically people I would let them come live with me right now, like homies, straight brothers. And you ever see the movie Four Brothers? That was what my life was kind of like.
I need to see that.
Movie.
No.
So my life was like kind of like that. I had a whole bunch of people, different colors. I mean, Romanian, Black, Arab. Like we just all hung out. We were all best friends.
Sure.
And like, man, I miss it. I do miss it.
Yeah.
I miss Detroit so much. But at the same time, like even when I go back and talk to them now, about like politics, a lot of them have a similar outlook to me. They think like everything going on is just stupid.
Sure.
And I think I definitely feel that none of them think so strongly about racism as people on the far left would assume that they would.
Yeah.
So it's like, my one friend, I'm trying to not say her name because I definitely don't want to randomly put her on blast.
Of course.
But my one friend would essentially be like, any racism I experienced would just be an instance or something that would happen to me. And I tried to explain to them that would be the same case for anybody.
Yeah.
Like, if you experience racism, it's not just there in the ether, just constantly getting you like,
right.
It's actually a thing that occurs, an instance that occurs. And we also got into this big talk about systemic versus institutionalized racism and blah, blah. And I was like, what is something today that you can tell me that's systemic racism? Just anything today in law. And they couldn't. And then they tried to cite like police stopping black people way more. And I'm like, well, that's not technically systemic. That's just a bunch of asshole cops.
Exactly.
That's not, like, as much as you would like to think it's systemic. And they're like, but it's becoming systemic. I'm like, that's not true. Systemic would mean it's part of the legal system. It's actually something that's part of being taught to be a police officer. It's not. Police officers aren't trained to do that.
Correct.
They're not. They might be in a station that tells them to do that, but they're not trained to do that. No police academy will train an officer and be like, stop black people. You'll get a lot of arrests. Like, that's not how that goes.
Right.
So it's a bunch of officers either learning from really old racist veterans, or which is actually a thing I know still occurs.
Oh,
like,
I could imagine.
yeah. And it's also officers who are they themselves kind of assholes. So I mean, like, yes, there are bad cops. There are a lot of bad cops.
There are.
But there are also a lot of good cops. The problem is you don't hear about the good cops nearly as much.
Well, of course, and that's because the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and that's where the media is going to point their cameras. I hate the man. I don't like any of his stuff. However, there's an excellent film called Bowling for Columbine by Michael Moore. I cannot stand him. However, that movie does shed a lot of light on things, and they talk about, like, they follow around a news camera crew, and they're like, well, what if you had this story going on? Would you be there instead of at the shooting that just happened right now? And they'd be like, no, it wouldn't get ratings. So it's not just, control of one side or the other. It's also what's going to make the biggest noise.
Why watch anything besides Law and Order SVU?
Seriously.
That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, people love drama.
Sure.
Like, they when you wake up, okay, and you look at the news, you don't want to hear everything's great and the day's going well and there's no problems. Have a great day. The weather's fine. You don't want to hear that. You want to wake up and you want to hear the most horrible, awful, grotesque shit that you could possibly. You want to wake up and be like, 37 school shootings, 800 dead, and a random man shoved a tube up his butt. You want to hear that. That's what you want to hear when you turn on the news. Even though secretly, deep down, as a good person, like, I don't want to hear that. But then, like, your subconscious is like, yeah, you do, buddy.
So how big was the tube?
3 feet.
Oh, my God. So, yeah. Again, people naturally like drama. You can sit there all day long and say that you don't, but I can guarantee that you're flipping through Facebook sometime today, and it's certainly not puppy dogs and rainbows on there. So, I know it's an instinctual thing, but to continue feeding it all day long. And when I was growing up, you could escape it. You only had news certain times of the day. Well, then we got cable and news was more prevalent, but we could go outside. We could do whatever. We could go play with our friends, ride our bikes, do whatever that we wanted. And now you have these damn things, I say as I'm holding up my cell phone, that you get notifications on these all day long.
I don't get notifications. I don't know what you're talking about. I have all that stuff turned off.
No, I do now too. It was mentioned in a previous episode with Will that about social media, the Social Dilemma, the movie. And yeah, just turn them off. All right, you don't need all these notifications all day long.
No.
Get to it when you get to it. Enjoy life. Stop living behind a screen. Ugh.
As a PC gamer, I find that offensive.
I know you do, and I'm glad that it offended you.
Yeah, but I'm not mad about it. I'm just offended.
Sure.
You got me right in my offended, right above my spleen. That's where the offended is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's where it's located right above your spleen.
Well, I'm going to start jabbing you there more
Don't
often.
do that.
I'm going to.
I will fight you.
Come here.
But no, I think that it's really interesting because there's a whole bunch of different ways to like explain all these topics, like social media, how to handle racism, the Biden administration doing complete opposite of what they said they were going to do, basically.
Here's the thing. So, every politician lies.
Oh yeah.
All right.
But this is well beyond.
This is well beyond
what we normally would expect. So like Trump lied a lot. He did. He lied a lot. I mean, first of all, Trump was a movie man, a TV guy, big TV personality, big rich boy, owned a hotel, blah blah blah. But you know what's really funny is Biden didn't do any of that, and he has lied a copious amount to the complete degradement of the U.S. people. Mm-hmm. Like, where's our stimulus checks?
Yep.
Why are we trying to make sure all those get bundled with a whole bunch of other crap, and we're not going to pass them until they are? Like, this is the same crap they tried to do last time.
Biggest thing that got me was both of them during the debates. Both of them, Biden and Harris, both said, we are not ending fracking. Now, we don't know where you're coming up with this. It is not on our agenda. Fracking will not be banned. What happened the first week? Executive order signed, banned fracking.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? And yet, you don't see that anywhere. Nope. And if you try to bring it up to people, they're like, well, no, that's not what they meant. I don't understand why it's okay for them to say, well, no, that's not what they meant, when it clearly is exactly what they meant.
They literally said we're not going to. My favorite things in recent like time since his election has been when he stood up during the CNN city council, and the girl was like, "We need to get a whole bunch of money to clear off these debts." And
yep,
what will you do to do this? I won't. I won't do that. And you could just see that girl's face. She knew at that moment she messed up.
Yep.
She like sat back down. She knew.
Yep.
She knew. She's like, oh God, what have I done?
There was a poll recently done of only people who voted for Biden. So there's no spin. Mm-hmm. You can't possibly spin this. There were people that was all that was polled. People that voted for Biden, and they said, if the election were held today and you were aware of everything that happened now, would you still vote for him? 1 out of 6 said no, and that they made a grave mistake.
Yep.
And if you think about 1 out of 6,
that's a lot of people.
If he legitimately got 80 million votes, that would be a sixth of those votes, which would be roughly 14 million. And if he would have erased those, Trump would still be in office. Mm-hmm. For better or for worse. I'm not saying that would have been but just think about that. 1 in 6. It doesn't sound like a lot until you put it that way. That is a huge impact to know that. Huge. With Michael Veve. That now you know roughly 14 million people are out there going, fuck.
I mean, I wasn't going to vote for Biden, period, but I also didn't vote for Trump because I voted for Mama Joe.
Mama Joe.
Rep Mama Joe.
Joe Jorgensen, by the way, in case you guys have forgotten, the libertarian.
She was a libertarian candidate. Yeah. She wanted people to be able to own, like, legally own just tanks.
And that's where you and I start differing.
Look, if I want to sit in my tank bedroom, okay, if I'm not driving around and infringing on anyone else's rights, I should be allowed to have my tank.
And this is where, so this is where I come from. So I am definitely of the same ilk of, listen, if I'm not infringing on you, there should be absolutely no reason I should be able to sit on my porch with my shotgun while the nice gay couple across the street pounds one out. And, there should be no issue. There should be no problem. You do what you want in your own household. Everything's fine. I don't think you should own a tank. I don't think you need a surface-to-air missile. There's no...
We weren't going to be allowed to own surface-to-air missiles.
What?
Yeah, that wasn't something that was part of her plan.
No, I know it wasn't part of her plan. I'm just saying.
But I wanted a tank.
Yeah, I know you did. But I'm just saying there are some people out there that are like, well, I should be able to own this. It's not infringing on anything. It's a tank, brah.
What am I going to do? I mean, yeah, sure, if somebody takes my parking spot, they ain't going to have it very long. But, I mean... I
like playing checkers, king me.
Well, that's a nice little... All right, well, that's our parking spot now. So, I mean, okay. Well, I don't actually believe that I should own a tank.
I know.
The thought that I would have been able to is kind of cool. It's just something
yeah.
just need to think about.
But that's where you're tippy-tapping on that whole anarchy thing.
Oh, no, I don't want anarchy. Anarchy's bad. See, I'm not your typical libertarian. I understand the symbiotic relationship required between the citizens and the state.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what taxes are, and if you say taxation's theft, you're an idiot. Just putting that out there, you're dumb. You're dumb. Yeah, taxation's not actually theft.
Is that pay to play?
No, it's the symbiotic agreement that you've entered into with your government.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What about double taxation, though?
Oh. What about triple taxation? No, I think you get taxed once, and then any more than that, and you give them the old eyes.
You realize that you are double taxed on everything you ever buy.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, we shouldn't be.
Correct.
But we are.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the concept of taxation is not theft. The government needs funding, and what better way to get it than from their people?
And that's the deal. I mean, the government is... How else are they going to get their funding? I mean, they can't just print more paper because guess what?
I mean, they can.
No, they can, of course. But I'm saying, repercussions of doing that.
Have you seen Venezuela?
Which we're watching right now in Venezuela, exactly. So when you can literally light your money on fire to stay warm and not have to worry about it, it's terrifying.
Is it terrifying or is it invigorating?
No. Terrifying.
It's terrifying. Yeah, I guess it would be. I mean, if you're Jeff Bezos, you can light your money on fire and stay warm.
Yeah, but that's because he's got like 40 gajillion.
I don't think that's a number.
It's a real number.
I don't think You better stop. I'm going to start drinking all your Schweppes.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not drinking the Schweppes.
Do it.
In case you don't know, listener, he has a whole little shelf just full of warm Schweppes.
Yes, I have my mini bar. I got rid of the mini fridge, though, because it was annoying. And
that was a mistake.
Yeah, I know. Shut up. And I have 6 bottles of Schweppes that are just staring at Cody, begging him.
All right, viewer, I'm going to go ahead and open one of these bottles of Schweppes and take a swig and see what it's like. All right, give me a sec.
All right.
All right. Oh, glass.
Yeah, it's glass.
Wow, that's fantastic. All right, here we're fizzy.
Well, yeah, it's tonic water.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it smells awful.
It sure does.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Ooh. Yep. All right, here we go.
All right.
Yeah. Don't. Oh. Whew. That is,
Oh, hell no, you opened it, you gotta drink it.
I gotta drink it, but man. Don't ever drink straight Schweppes. That is, I'm not gonna get rid of this aftertaste.
Nope.
It's never going away.
You have that look like you're about ready to lick your own asshole to get rid of that
I
taste.
think I probably would. My tongue would be so far up my fart box, I wouldn't be able to think straight for the next week. This is awful.
Yeah. Keep going.
This is what it feels like to die. This is it. Oh. Schweppes. Schweppes brand. I'm not mad at you guys because I understand your beverage is not made to be actually consumed by itself.
Correct.
But my God.
You put like a gummy bear in there or something?
Anything. It's 110 calories.
Well, yeah, it's salt.
Salt?
Isn't it?
I don't know. I don't think there's salt. There's no salt.
Well, then what? How's there 110 calories in a tiny ass bottle?
Oh, wait, no. Sodium benzoate.
There it is. Tell me there's no salt.
I was like, where's the salt at? That's what it tastes like, too. It just tastes like a big old swig of wet salt.
Yep.
Ugh.
Blech. All right. Well, now that we have the entertainment out of the way.
That was a mistake, and I'm never going to do that again. So I'm going to try this Schweppes. How bad could it be?
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm not drinking this without mixing it with something. It's going to get mixed with something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's going to get...
bring something?
Nope.
You're going to get in my stash.
Oh, shoot.
All right, what are we going to talk about now? We got like 10 minutes.
Well, 10 minutes. What would be a good topic for 10 minutes? We could talk about going to Mars.
Let's talk about going to Mars. Let's lighten it up at the end here. So, for those of you who may not have known, we have another rover up on Mars.
Perseverance.
Red Rover.
He beeps happy birthday to himself every year.
It's sad, but it's cute.
It's the best. My goal, my dream, is that they both meet up and they beep at each other, and that would just be the best.
Like driving by on Main Street, beep beep.
They're literally gonna go like 5 miles an hour, zip right past each other, boop 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 boop, and just keep going.
So, now was it NASA? It was NASA that launched this, correct?
I believe so.
This wasn't an Elon Musk production.
No, I think this was NASA because it's Perseverance. So I think it's NASA. So
yes, it is.
NASA always names everything really weird, like Perseverance or. Sorry, the Schweppes is getting me bad, man. Oh my god. Oh, it tastes bad coming up.
Yeah, even better, right? So yeah, Perseverance. Then there was like Columbia, Challenger.
Yeah, Columbia. Oh man,
will you put something in your mouth to get that look off your face?
There's nothing else to put in here.
Oh my god. This is the worst idea ever.
You told me to do it.
You never listen to me. That's the one time you decide to listen to me. So there's actually been some really nice photos coming back. There's a full panoramic photo that was stitched together of Perseverance, which was really cool. It was a what do they call it? Like a long exposure type thing, so you can just see all these freaking stars. You can see the the arm of the Milky Way, the other arm of our galaxy, all this great stuff. It's fantastic. I know that there are people that oppose the rover and a lot of the money that we have spent on this because, again,
what type of big old stinky butt dumb face would oppose going and looking at Mars?
Do you know how much money it costs to go to Mars?
I don't care.
Okay.
Did you spend it?
Well, no, our government did.
Okay, that's fine.
It's fine that our government spent money to go to Mars.
Yes.
But it's not fine that we haven't gotten our stimulus checks.
No, they should do that.
It's not fine that we have homeless vets.
No. Hold on. They can take care of all those problems by removing the bloat that's in the stimulus check package that they're trying to do right now.
I understand.
You can't be like, well, if we didn't go to Mars, we wouldn't have homeless vets and more money in the stimulus package. No, we would have more money in the stimulus package if they just wrote the bill better. But instead, they're just like, you know who needs money? Syria, who we just bombed. That's our government. Our government's big stupid, and they do dumb shit like that all the time.
I know.
Instead of bombing Syria and then paying them, they paid Syria to bomb them.
Sure.
They just get, hey Syria, you want some money? We'll call it even here next week. Well, what do we owe you for that? You'll see.
We'll send you a check.
We'll send you a check by drone. They walk off. Dude, the guy who makes all those really funny Biden comics needs to make one like that, where it's like creepy, like alien Biden walks back and presses the button to it says reciprocate love, and he presses it, just drone strikes Syria.
Speaking of button, maybe this should be the last thing we talk about. Did you see where other Democrats are saying that they don't want him to have the sole responsibility of the nuke codes?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. I don't blame them. I definitely...
Here's the thing. Again, you're going to have differences within the party because I don't think you should be aligned to a party. I think that's the dumbest thing ever in the world. But anyway, when people are saying that you shouldn't have the nuke codes within your own party, that's concerning. You would...
I know how to fix this.
Yeah.
I know how to fix this whole thing.
Oh, God.
You just give them all Schweppes. If they're all drinking Schweppes, they'll be too disgusted to ever launch nukes.
That's true. Okay,
so
there you go.
In case of like nuclear urges, break glass, and there's just a bottle of Schweppes in there.
Perfect. And it's already in a glass bottle too?
Yeah, so they break a glass container, grab their glass bottle of Schweppes, and while they're thinking about launching a nuke, they just open it up and take a swig, and they won't care about launching that nuke anymore.
World, you're welcome. We saved nuclear
We
war.
literally saved the nuclear holocaust by just telling you guys to send all these people Schweppes, because Schweppes, I'm sorry, your beverage is gross.
Screw putting money into GameStop.
Yep.
Schweppes stock.
Schweppes stock.
All about it.
I mean, if anybody who has any extra GME stock, you'd like to send them my way, just hit me up, get my DMs or something, because I will take it.
But back to the codes. So people talk about, that he is just a puppet until they have to get rid of him, essentially, or whatever, because
I'm so dreading that they intend to get rid of him for Kamala Harris.
Exactly.
I hate Kamala Harris.
That is the terrifying part.
Yeah.
She's already mad that she wasn't involved in these phone calls with foreign affairs and stuff, and I'm like,
you're the vice president. You don't get involved.
That's with those. Like she's already been taking part of this over. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not even what you're supposed to be doing.
Hold up, do you not know what your job is supposed to bring empty boxes to hospitals and pretend you're giving them medical equipment? That's what you're supposed to do, Kamala Harris.
So yeah, the man, you can say what you want. And I'm not being facetious when I say this. I truly do feel that
yes, he is.
No, that this is elder abuse. I truly do. There is something. Has he lost all of his marbles yet? No, but there's a leak in the bag somewhere.
At nobody when you walked. Why is he not allowed to ride on Air Force One?
Mm-hmm.
Why has he not once flown on Air Force One?
Well, there's limited capacity on Air Force One. Bitch, it was made for him.
Yeah, there's a movie with Harrison Ford about Air Force One. The president is supposed to be on Air Force One. As a matter of fact, any plane which contains the U.S. president is supposed to go under the code name Air Force One.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter if he's on the actual Air Force One plane. Any plane he's on will be designated as Air Force One.
So we got to wrap it up, but just think about it, because it's... I'm very concerned. And I'm concerned about Kamala taking over. We can probably pick up on that on another episode.
No, we definitely can, but you just don't drink Schweppes.
No, don't do it. All right, so a little house cleaning. Check us out at 57percenttrue.com. Make sure you spell out that percent sign, otherwise Kamala will come over to your house and eat all your Twinkies. And then you can also follow us on social media, Facebook and Twitter. I hate it, but I gotta use it, at 57percenttrue. If you're searching for us out there in podcast land, you can actually use the percent sign there to search for us, because otherwise, stop making that face. It's very distracting. It's hilarious, though. But search for us using that percent sign will make things a little easier. If you would like to give us a couple bucks to make sure that things keep rolling here, as well as helping us grow, we would certainly appreciate it. You can donate at either Patreon or Anchor.fm. We take donations on there as well. We do have a sponsor through Patreon, so I'm very excited, and I'm working on getting additional ones, so... The more people that you share this with, the more people we can annoy. So anyway, I think that's it. Any closing words from you there, good sir?
Seriously, don't drink Schweppes. Just don't do it.
Don't drink it solo, okay? Make a gin and tonic. That's what that's built for.
If you just drink Schweppes, you will die.
It's true.
You will actually... I mean, you won't die, but you'll experience death, and that's...
I'm seeing a haze around you, and I think it is your will to live.
It's gone.
Leaving.
Completely gone.
So awesome. All right. So for my buddy Cody, again, my name is Jason. Thank you so much for listening, and
farewell, nerds. I can't drink any more Schweppes.
Drink it down, you bitch.